Hello, I'm Deborah Porter from Love to Learn, a qualified and experienced teacher and an examiner for official English exams. I imagine that there are many of you out there who would love to achieve your C.A.E. That's the C1, whether it's for reasons relating to employment, studies, or simply for personal satisfaction. So, what's stopping you? Having taught many students over the years, I think I'm familiar with some of your reasons. And I'm here to tell you that your concerns have solutions. So if you really want the C.A.E, let me guide you through the answers to your concerns and convince you that there's no time like the present. Overcoming obstacles is a simple step-by-step process. First, we'll examine your concerns, recognizing the reasons which are preventing you from attempting the exam. Some of these are very simple to address, whilst others may require a little more time or effort, but none of them are insurmountable. Then, to offer the motivation you may need, we'll look at the fantastic opportunities that could be your life after achieving the C.A.E. And instead of dwelling on the concerns and being overwhelmed by fear, let's change the mindset and be excited about the positive outcomes of when you've succeeded. Finally, as promised, I'll take you through the possible solutions to the most common concerns. As I said, my name is Deborah, and I've been in the education sector pretty much my whole life. Having lived in Spain for many years, I have now got a pretty decent grasp of the language, but it wasn't easy for me. And that's why I love helping others to master a foreign language. More often than not, this starts with convincing students of their capabilities and boosting their confidence. Most of my time is spent teaching English as a foreign language, and in particular, helping students to prepare for the English exams, such as the C1. At the same time, I'm an examiner for both Trinity College and for Cambridge English exams. So I'm one of those people sat opposite you when you walk into your speaking exam. This aspect of my job has given me an invaluable insight as to how students are prepared for the exams. And sadly, it's not always great. That's exactly why I know I could be invaluable in helping you take the necessary steps to ace your C.A.E. Okay, let's examine some of your concerns. Am I ready? A great question, and one that should be addressed seriously before you apply to take the exam and before you spend your time and money on a course to prepare for the exam. I've seen candidates attempt this exam who are not at an adequate level of English, and because of this, they have not had a particularly pleasant experience. Navigating all the different parts of the exam is tricky enough when you speak English well. So, yes, you do need to be proficient already in the language. I'm not sure what's involved. Well, to be honest, there's a lot. The exam consists of 4 papers and multiple parts within each of these. It's a very challenging exam, which is exactly why it's highly respected and accepted as proof of an advanced level of English worldwide. Even with adequate English, the many different tasks within the exam require a variety of skills, both linguistic and of communicative competence. Candidates who enter the exam unprepared are unable to navigate the many different parts and perform much worse than they could have had they known what to expect. I get nervous, especially when speaking. This is absolutely normal, and there are very few candidates that face this part of the exam confidently. It's difficult enough to overcome your nerves when you're writing, reading, or listening. But when you have to actually speak in a second language in a test, it can be terrifying. Unbelievably, though, some candidates actually enter the test not even knowing the format or procedure and have to ask us, the examiners, for clarification, which obviously does not reflect well. In fact, it's really important to be aware of what exactly will impress the examiners, and even more important to be aware of what won't. I'm worried about timing. Again, this is an extremely common concern that students bring up with me constantly, and it's not surprising. Whereas the listening paper uses an audio where you have no control of the timing, you then have the reading and use of English, which contains 8 parts and has to be completed within 90 minutes with absolutely no guide except the clock. You have to know how exactly to time yourself and how much time to spend on each part in order to complete it effectively. And it's no piece of cake. Do I have to be as good at listening as everything else? The short answer to this is no, but I'm sure that you have many more questions, and it's reassuring to know where to find the answers quickly or have them at hand. Sometimes, when searching, there's almost too much information about the exam to the extent that you can spend hours trawling through websites and blogs to locate exactly what you want to know. It costs a lot of money. What if I fail? Yes, for most of you, the exam is a big investment. It's over €200 here in Spain through an exam centre, and nobody wants to waste that amount of money. And each year, many candidates do fail. If you go through a teacher or an academy, then you should have been assessed as being at an adequate level and prepared sufficiently so as to pass. Should being the operative word, as it's not always the case. Obviously, some candidates enter themselves and may not have realised just what was expected of them. Another common mistake is that some candidates attempt the exam too soon after having previously failed, without giving themselves the time and opportunity to improve in the areas necessary. I'll address possible solutions to all of these justifiable concerns in just a moment. But let's look at what your life could look like after achieving the C.A.E. For those of you who are still studying, then the C.A.E. acts as a passport to a wide range of opportunities to study abroad. You can either go to an English-speaking country or one of the many countries that offer university courses in English. As for employment, having the C.A.E. on your CV can automatically open doors, get you an interview, and maybe even your dream job. Having studied for the exam, you'll now be a confident and fluent speaker who can participate in meetings spoken in English. It may even help you up the professional ladder to arrive at a managerial post. Finally, having obtained the C.A.E., it gives you the freedom to travel to a vast number of destinations where English can enable you to communicate with the locals, even if it's not an English-speaking country. And many students have expressed their enjoyment at being able to listen to and understand the lyrics of their favourite songs or watch English-speaking films without subtitles or being dubbed. Basically, achieving the C.A.E. will not only make aspects of your life so much easier, but will also provide you with an enormous feeling of satisfaction that you've succeeded in obtaining such a demanding and well-respected qualification. Okay, as promised, let's get back to those concerns and, more importantly, how to overcome them. Am I ready? The first question is important to consider before even attempting to prepare for the exam. In other words, is my English of an adequate level in order for me to attempt the C.A.E.? I'd hate for you to waste your time and money on something that you're simply not ready for. So, I've prepared an English level test to ensure that you are. The pre-C.A.E. English level test. Not to say that once you pass this, that's it. A lot of effort and hard work will also be required in order to prepare adequately for the exam. I'm not sure what's involved. As I said previously, there's a lot to take in, but don't worry. I've created a C.A.E. cheat sheet to guide you through the steps you need to take in order to prepare yourself thoroughly for the C1 English exam. However, it isn't easy and you may prefer to be guided and taught by a professional. So, I have also created a course that will do exactly that, called the C.A.E. Roadmap to Success, a 6-week course that takes you through all the steps necessary to prepare you thoroughly for the C1 exam. I get nervous, especially when speaking. To be perfectly honest, I'd be concerned if this didn't worry you. It's perfectly normal to be anxious about speaking in a second language, even if you are a confident person. However, being thoroughly prepared is the key and will give you the security needed to tackle each of the different aspects of the speaking test. If you take the C.A.E. Roadmap to Success, not only will you become extremely familiar with the different parts of the speaking exam, but you'll also be given tips and opportunities to practice sufficiently so that you'll be able to go into the exam confidently. I'm worried about the timing. As I said, this is perfectly a valid concern because it's not easy to complete some of the parts of the exam within the time constraints. In the C.A.E. Roadmap to Success, we'll go over the timings for all the papers. The key is to get familiar by practicing with exam materials and under exam conditions. Just remember, everything is difficult until it's easy. With the right knowledge and strategies, I can help you pace yourself so that you can manage all the papers effectively and efficiently. Do I have to be as good at listening as everything else? As I mentioned before, you don't, as the exam result is a total of all 4 papers together. However, you probably have a whole list of questions or things will come up that you want the answers to. So again, the C.A.E. cheat sheet can help you find the answers to the most of the questions yourself. However, in the 6-week C.A.E. Roadmap to Success, there's a live weekly Q&A where all of your questions will get answered there and then by myself. It costs a lot of money. What if I fail? Okay, let's rule out that option right now. If your level of English is of the standard required and you are thoroughly prepared, there should be no question of you failing. I can assure you that if you pass my English level test and sign up for the C.A.E. Roadmap to Success and do all the work throughout the 6 weeks, you will not fail. So there you have it. If you do want the free cheat sheet or you would like to take the free pre-C.A.E. English level test, just click on the link below and I'll be delighted to help you on your journey towards achieving the C.A.E. exam. Thank you for your time and good luck with your English exam.